Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Win, where you'll receive God-filled encouragement that will help you live and lead with a victory mindset. So, this past term, I've had my proper share of cheering on the side of the field. We've had cricket matches. We have had rugby matches. We have had hockey matches. We've had cross-country routes that we've had to stand by. And it's been just such a lovely term of cheering our children on. And I could just always catch myself saying, let's go, girls, you can do this, or come on, boys, tackle, or clean, or yeah, come on, you can do this. Come on, boys, look alive. There's a mother that always tells the girls, she says, look alive, girls, look alive. You can do this. And I just love it. And I was wondering if it sounds familiar to you this morning. I also remember a very specific cricket match a couple of years back at our school. And we were still just getting into the things of cricket at our school and really just starting out in this hardball cricket. And anyway, this particular match, I remember just looking at our side where our school was sitting and leaning across and looking on the other side, and just the vast difference between the two schools. We had a handful of parents on our side, and I think many of them were introverts, so it was very quiet on the stand and no one was speaking to anyone. And I leaned across and I saw on the other side they had a braai going, they had music going. Every time that a 4 was hit, they had played music, and a 6 and a goal, and they were just playing music, and it was such a vibe. But after every ball, you could hear the parents cheering the children on, and just you could feel the tangible support, you could feel the tangible excitement in the air. And what was incredible was to see the kids, to see the effect that it had on the children, the effect that it had on the players playing on the field. And it really stuck to me. And I always remember from that time on just really making a point, wow, valuing what the support on the side of the field means for the players. Just really realizing what that encouragement means for the players. And this morning, I spent some time in Hebrews 12, and it's exactly what the writer of Hebrews is saying in this passage in Hebrews 12. It's exactly what he's doing. He's cheering us on. He's saying, come on, you can do this. Run this race that's put before you. Look away from all that will distract. Run this race. Look to Jesus. Keep your eyes fixed. Run the race with patient endurance. And he says, think of what Jesus has done and think of what he had to endure and accomplish. And don't let your hearts grow weary or exhausted so that you'll lose heart, relax, and grow faint. Don't let your hearts grow weary. Run. What an incredible passage of cheering on and exhorting us and keeping us encouraged to run this race, like a mother on the side or a father on the side of the field cheering their children on. It's what he's doing here. So I was just wondering, and I just stood still here for a moment. What are the things that distract us from looking to Jesus? What are those things in our daily lives that do distract us? And I made a list here of a couple of things that I could think about. I was thinking of fear. Fear is something that distracts us from moving or looking towards Jesus. Perhaps past disappointments, perhaps lies that we are believing about a situation or about ourselves or about others. Personal failures, stress, financial stress, fear of the future, fear of what lies ahead. Looking at the waves around us, the things that are pressing down around us, looking at those things. Those are all things that distract us from looking to Jesus. What about self-reliance? When we're counting on our own strength to achieve something, counting on our own strength to accomplish or to finish this race. Those are things that distract from looking to Jesus. The writer of Hebrews then carries on and he says this: the Lord corrects and disciplines those he loves, and that we ought to cheerfully submit to this because it's for our own good, and it's so that we can become sharers in his holiness, in his goodness. So the trick is to not endure the discipline with a grumpy attitude, but to rather cheerfully submit to his discipline and to him correcting us, and the process of leading and guiding and disciplining and teaching us through situations. Now, this so reminds me of what we're currently facing in our household. As many of you know, it's exam time, and I've got 3 kids busy writing their school exams, and there's one particular one of our children that really just needs that extra bit of encouragement, that extra bit of motivation and direction and self-discipline, if you will. There's a list on his plate that he would much rather want to do than study and sit in front of his books. But he's tasted the fruit. He's tasted what it's like to reap when he has studied and enjoy the fruit. So he's willing to endure it. But to cheerfully endure it is not quite there. It's still quite a grumpy attitude. If our earthly father, if our earthly mother disciplines us or teaches us or directs our path, how much more should it be a joy for us to endure when our Heavenly Father directs us and disciplines and corrects us? Then he continues and he says, brace up and reinvigorate and set right your slackened and weakened and drooping hands, and strengthen your feeble and tottering knees. What an explanation! What a picture! Now, my husband is training for the Comrades Marathon. Now, if you're not sure what this is an 89-kilometer ultra marathon, and you have a 12-hour cutoff to do this. And if you ever want to see a picture of slackened and weakened, drooping hands and feeble and tottering knees, all you need to do is to go look at the last hour of the Comrades Marathon, and you'll see people crawling across this finish line. You'll see them all crooked and hardly able to keep their bodies upright. This is an example of the perfect example of what it looks like to be weak from running, from enduring a whole day of racing and of striving and of enduring. It's an incredible sight to see, but the thing that we can celebrate is that they have accomplished this incredible feat. They have endured and they've run the race that was set before them. And sometimes this picture of tottering knees, weakened knees, could reflect our spirits, that what we're feeling inside. Perhaps you have been enduring year upon year upon year of marathon running in the faith, of trusting God, perhaps without seeing the fruit of your faith. Perhaps you're feeling tired from battling something out. And today the message for you is stand up, brace up, reinvigorate, and set aright those legs, those limbs that have been weakened. But he says, brace yourself up because of the prize, because of what we're running towards. And he says here, and if you carry on in Hebrews 12, he talks about that we're not running after something tangible like the Israelites did. We're not running towards a mountain that is thundering and set alight and set ablaze, that is tangible, but we're running towards our Heavenly Father. We're running towards Mount Zion, our living God, the kingdom that cannot be shaken. We're running towards Jesus, He is our mediator of grace and mercy and kindness, our loving, loving Father. And I just love this part in Hebrews 12 where he speaks about to cut out a path that is firm, plain, and smooth. He says, run and run this race set before you. Straighten up, brace yourself up, but then cut out a path that is firm, plain, and smooth. Listen to this. Safe, upright, and happy paths, so that your lame limbs may not be put out of joint, but rather be cured and healed. Now, how do we cut out a new path? How do we do this? By continuously and habitually walking in the ways of the Lord. How many of you know if you continue on the same path, on the same route every single day, that becomes a well-worn path that is cut out, that is smooth and plain. By continuously, habitually directing our thoughts, our words, and our actions to the ways of the Lord. And here's the thing, when we create a well-worn path that is firm, plain, smooth, that is upright and happy, what's going to happen? Others are going to follow in this path. If someone comes up behind you and they see, oh, here's a path. What happens when you're walking a mountain, when you're walking into the bush and you see, oh, here's a path? You immediately, you find the relief of walking in a path. You've been bushwhacking. You're so grateful for the well-worn path that has been made before you. So you're not only curing and healing your own weariness, your own heaviness, but you're making a way for someone else to walk in the ways of the Lord. Isn't that such an amazing picture? And he also carries on and says, exercise foresight, look to one another and look out for one another. See that no one will fall back into sin. So it's this picture of camaraderie where you're encouraging each other to run this race with endurance. Gird yourself up, be strengthened. Continue habitually, continuously walking in the ways of the Lord. And in doing that, you make a path for someone else. You're looking out for those around you. And you're making sure that they do not fall back into sin. So if we can strengthen ourselves, brace up, and set right those weakened limbs, we get to walk a path of victory, not only for ourselves, but for others to follow. And this path is set in a kingdom that is firm, stable, and that cannot be shaken. Ladies, I know that the race can be tiring. I know that the race can be long and it can feel like it's never ending, like it's too much. So often I have to catch myself many mornings, especially certain times of the month. I wake up and I feel overwhelmed. I catch myself saying, this is too much. It's too much for today. I don't have the capacity. But again, the Lord comes, he's like a cheerleader on the side of the field and he says, come on girls, look alive, look alive. You can do this. Steady your eyes on Jesus. Look to him. Do not look to the left. Do not look to the right. Do not be distracted. You're running in a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Focus on the Lord. Move. Go forward. Keep going. You can do this. You can endure. Ladies, let's win. You can do this. Let's win today together and in the rest of this week. Bless you.